I'd honestly consider, I wouldn't say Kitzen's their strongest player. Brox has got experience in almost all things here.
Well, when I was listening in on their comms in one of the previous rounds, they actually worked together really, really well.
Oh, 100%. They are a good team, and he's a good player. I will not say that otherwise. I will, however, say that putting Rook in a glass cannon that are notorious for Outbringers is a dangerous move on their team.
I mean, is that the UAC-10 one? That's a very bizarre choice.
Personally, I think that they might be playing the long game, saving some of those hard-hitting assets that they might otherwise bring for future rounds.
I mean, there's only like, I mean, it's best of 3 earliest, so, I mean, do it now.
Considering what they've just done though, they've walked around the outskirts of the map and they're trying to see if they're capping their base. They're continuing to move around the outskirts of the map. I think they plan to do a little bit of poking before they engage.
Personally, it's going to come down to if they can focus down one of those SA Mad Cats early. If they can get one down, I like the chances, but if not, two Mad Cats would scare me in a 5v5.
Yeah, the Rio's just going to zombie for so long.
SA are about to run right into them. Oh, they've got the backstorm now. Oh, fuck. SA, turn around. There they go. They've got them on radar.
If you're SA, what do you focus? If you're SJ, what do you focus?
Player. Always by player name.
I mean, once they see the Loki, they'll probably focus it.
Yeah.
At least at first, before it turns.
Many moons ago, you told me the shape of a mech is its most important aspect. Is that maybe why they went with these mechs instead of the MCATs?
I mean, you could argue the opposite way, but that the Rio's in much better shape than the Loki. The Thor, it's arguable.
Sounds like you guys would have liked their chances better if they had gone with 2 Thors and something else, as long as it wasn't a Loki.
No, 2 Thors.
I mean, Lokis are good in this situation if it's a little lighter on the tonnage and they have really high alpha. But that's neither is the case here, so it's kind of a weird pick to me.
Oh, Carb might be going for poke here.
The stream, I think, is being restreamed. Almost. It is originating on YouTube, and then I believe that it's being restreamed on Twitch and YouTube.
He does not retreat right now. Drops coming in.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you he is open somewhere. With a 70%.
SJ should not be backing up.
His shots in return.
Hit the mountain.
That is not good. They have the low ground. It does not favor their weaponry.
Yeah, looking at the score, they might not have gotten any damage.
Oh, they're on full retreat right now. SA could just push around and finish them.
If SJ is going to make a comeback, do you focus the Rio or do you focus the MCAT?
Never focus the Rio, never.
Never. Honestly, I don't know why the Thor's at the front of the pack. He should not be tanking.
Frankly, I'm a bit surprised that they're not running tail to the edge of the map to try and utilize that range.
Same.
And you see the kids in missed the UAC-10, the cannon shots because of the low-hanging arms. That's going to come back to pay.
Gonna punish him for sure. Oh.
I think SJ is just off their game, frankly. Too many missed shots in this one, not enough armor to make up the difference.
They might have made a split-second decision on the Loki after they accidentally overturned.
The SA, honestly, not setting up a decent firing line here. They've got 2 of them up there, but the third one has not been firing. But Karib is coming around now. He might be able to put some shots in while SA charge full in.
Proxima playing conservatively, not usually his style.
Worked well for him last time.
That's fake news.
Here we go.
SJ is the conservative commander.
Well, for camping, sure, but in the 3v3?
He knows when to push, that's for sure. He knows when to brawl, but...
And this might be the match.
Oh, they're alone. Time for SJ to push.
So many of the weapons for SJ are hitting the ground right now.
Yeah, Evan's getting pounded.
Yeah, Carb with latent light, here he is, focusing on kids in. Carb is being laid into by Rook. This is working out well for them. I'm so curious how damaged they will either. Rook eating an alpha of PPCs.
I don't know, SJ's done some damage now. They might at least make this interesting.
Yeah, but they're probably really damaged. They fell back as well.
Proxima needs to get out of that spot, frankly, in my opinion.
Really no place to go at this point.
No. They could have broken out earlier, but they missed the opportunity because they don't have perfect vision like us.
SJ has to sacrifice one of their assets to have a chance. Which one's the most expendable at this point?
Kids in the Mad Cat. The damage done from the others offsets the armor of the Mad Cat. Oh, here we go. Rook's gonna die.
Can SJ get a kill? Is that question more so than can they win now?
Oh, they've got Scrub back. They could get him. Oh, they had nothing. They're just too
they were really damaged.
Well, my analysts provided to you first a strange list choice, and the damage was done. Let's see just how close this was. One Ryokin is dangerous by itself. Two Ryokins, and this lower of a tonnage? Is that a built-in advantage?
In this situation, one of the few weapons that is going to overwhelm that Ryokin's zombie ability is going to be mass streaks. Because no matter how much they try to torso turn, that much damage just hitting all over them is just going to melt them.
That many streaks, though, will it make focusing fire hard? Will they hit many components?
Oh man, when you're that many streaks, it doesn't matter what you hit, as long as you're hitting.
I gotta say, it's also gonna make it a lot harder for Rook and Kidson to effectively put down fire. Because if someone starts taking shots from the streaks launchers, they're gonna have to duck and weave like their life depends on it, because it will. And then the other teammates will have to pull his weight as well.
The other thing?
Plus, it's because it's so cold here, the backup weapons on all those streak boats, they'll be able to use them, which is usually not the case. On most maps, they're just kind of backup-ish, where you kind of use them if you have downtimes on the streak. Here, they'll be able to spam everything constantly. So it's even more damage.
The other thing, that Cougar has 8 to 8.5 tons of armor, the most a 35-ton light can have. So if you focus on it, it's not going to go down as fast as you might think. You said 9.5 tons for the Rio?
Well, fibrofibrous for clan, which is 20% more.
This is odd. SA have just turned around. SJ have just stopped and did the exact same thing. I don't know if they have the same instincts, but this is interesting.
SJ isn't even going at full speed, so their speed advantage basically means nothing.
Well, we started at 23. The worst that this can go to is 8. How much patience will these lists take, and does one team need to be more patient than the other?
It's all about patience. If they keep running around the map all day, they both stop, think, oh yeah, they'll just run into us.
This is a cold map, but not infinitely cold. Will those streaks start to clog the heat sinks quickly?
No, this is one of the coldest maps in the whole game.
SA made a good list. The only thing I'm worried about is like carbs in the front. Good place, actually. Things considered.
Yeah, I mean, he has
small lasers in the streaks.
Invictus, you turn the corner and you see SA's list. What are you telling everybody to shoot?
Ooh, probably the Vulture. If you can CT it with the Ryokan Prime to where he can't look at you at all anymore, you've taken him out pretty quick.
Even if you can't reach the CT, if you blow off one of the torsos, that's a lot of missiles gone. That's
the only
a good
thing
amount
is
of
that if
damage.
you get one of the side torsos, they can kind of strafe and deny it a little bit. Whereas if it's the CT, he can't look at you at all.
Oh.
Especially now that the Vulture is skinnier. But yeah, this is a good list by SA.
Are we pretty even on armor here? Or does one team have an armor advantage?
Well, by pure numbers, SA is going to technically have more armor, but easily SJ has the better shapes.
Do we have any kind of radar on either of these lists?
Well, that's a good question. There's not going to be any fancy radar, if that's what you mean. GCM, I think the Ryokan Alpha had GCM.
Cougar Delta used to, I believe, but doesn't anymore. My question is, the important question, for the record, does the Cougar Delta still have mask?
No. I took the mask off because with a Cougar, getting in and out of fights really isn't as important as lasting in the fight once you're in it. Because that's what the Cougar was designed to do. So I just upped all the armor and heat sinks so it can just stay in the fight more even if it gets there slower.
Invictus, if you were playing for the SA team, which of those mechs would be your preferential one to use in such a battle?
Probably the Vulture.
Marius, same question, but for the SJ team. Me personally, I love that Shadowcat Echo Invictus. You know why? Because it is so versatile. It has all of the movement systems that you want, and the wonderful thing about it is, unlike the Shadowcat Alpha or Beta, you whack the arm off with the big weapon, you've still got pretty decent firepower to fight back.
It's usually more of a good, like, line mech, kind of a soldier mech that you have in larger battles that can do a lot of stuff. Here, in this situation with a really concentrated fight, it's nice that it's a cold map, but it's sort of a weird choice. I guess it's just kind of there as the best 45 tourney you can take if you're just absolutely sure that you want to take 2 Ryokans.
How much time do you need left on the map before you decide to say, screw it, we're headed for center because we need to end this battle and not in a tie?
I mean, less than 5 minutes.
Well, in my experience, when you want to lose, patient wins out usually. And most teams that go, fuck it, we'll just go mid, those are the ones that generally lose. For whatever reason. It's tactically disadvantageous for the most part, but it's being able to push someone and push them with momentum and shooting a non-moving target, you know? Gives them that little bit of an edge. Doesn't matter how close it gets. It seems to have won in my experience every time.
Well, mind you, if you actually do, because KOS used to do this, actually have some faith in IS tech, and you just bring so much armor, sometimes just saying, fuck it, go up the gut is the best option.
Oh, here we go.
I think SA's seen them.
So, SA are still checking their rear. They haven't seen them. SJ, however, are setting up pickets.
Tizen has to carry this.
Long reload times on the SJ team. Let's see how they utilize their damage spread.
Didn't lock on for Kidzen. Strange. Using a good little hill, but not effectively.
SJ is taking a lot of damage.
SA are taking a lot of damage as well, and they're just not returning it.
Yeah, they're playing the poke game, which is weird.
Oh, they're tripping each other up.
Sacrifice the Cougar, take your chances up close.
They need to get close. Going for Rook. It's a weird choice.
I don't think Proxima and Kidzen are doing enough damage while Rook gets killed.
So much damage.
Kidzen's going.
Was SJ not aggressive enough?
SJ couldn't be aggressive with this place.
Well, SA is about to go up 2-0, and the pressure will be on SJ to not get beat in 4.
It would be a perfect damage. If they managed to hold a bit more distance into a fighting retreat that entire time, slightly out of range of them, that would have been great. But, as you said, these guys are fast.
All this torso twisting Brox is trying to do this is
Positioning, and first hits make the difference in close games. That's just further proof. Okay, well, it's going to end in controversy. That'll be on me. Let's just move forward.
I'm told that the Hollander was alive on radar.
Given that they're both pretty long range, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem.
The buck will fall with me. Let's get on with playing. The problem is, with them starting without me knowing, I need to know how much time has passed in case that becomes an issue. When it rains, it pours.
Around 18, I guess?
Yeah.
They resumed at 18. Hold was called at 24. We started at 27. That means 3 minutes elapsed before the DC. That means 18 minus 12. Match will end at 6:00. I will inform this, and then we'll move on.
Channel switched.
Match end time,
You said we're going
6:00.
south.
Channel
All right.
switched.
Match end time, 6.
Okay.
Channel switched.
Ho! Welcome to my world. Every weekend. Alright, here we go. Let's get back into this. It's all mind games now. Which team's going to be able to recover easier after all of that BS?
I mean, I think they're gonna go.
I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference.
I agree, but it will leave a bad taste in SA's mouth.
Well, SJ already has a bad taste in their mouth, so it's a make-up call, basically.
I think that was a clan requirement, wasn't it?
Let it be shown for the record that we did stick to Chaos March rules, but did allow the modified Chaos March rule of allowing the mech to move back, and that the best that I could, the teams were not told to start, but they did, so we just play on.
Also, SA's up 1, so the salt will be less on their side.
We have a couple of the viewers in the chat going, Duelist, what the hell? You should have reset. That was the honorable thing to do. Well, viewers, ultimately at the end of the day, Chaos March rules prevail, and in that case, we do not do map resets, and the only time that we do map resets is when something goes really, really bad. So that'll be the situation, and I'll have hell to pay for if it's the wrong one, but hopefully we'll be able to move on and have an exciting match.
Yeah,
So-
the two situations you could have had a map restart is if they both agreed, or if you immediately went in there and said, we're restarting GG, like I sometimes do. Then they just don't have enough time to think about it.
Alright. Invictus is the best event runner there is, period, and before my era of evil making upon the poor event players of this game was the absolute best and remains the best, and so I seeked out their counsel, and we are now going to move on. Viewers, your input is welcome, and please keep it up, and we will try to answer as we have a chance. So, Hollander Delta, how much time is it going to take that Hollander Delta to kill the other Hollander Delta if it ends up being a 1v1 situation?
It's going to
Lots
be...
of
One of the things about the AC2s is that while they have lots of... They have pretty good splash, pretty good shake now that they do splash damage. It's still a long stream of bullets. So if they're like strafing and jumping and doing weird things, there's a lot of outplay potential there.
So, these Anubises versus the Osirises, if they're battling each other in 1v1 scenarios, any advantages?
If they fight in a fishbowl, the Osiris has the advantage.
Honestly, I cannot see either of them after that incident moving anywhere near each other. The first one to move into a bad position, gonna
For the record,
die.
and this is the last I'll say on the rules to
and
be
have a
quick.
cozy mountain line.
The
where they
rule
can
is when a
cozy up
pilot-
and have great fields of fire and disengage.
When a pilot
or engage
disconnects,
however
they
want.
are allowed to move back to their mech while all the other
And the thing
pilots
is,
park,
No reason to push into
and then we
From our
let them back
global
in.
perspective here,
So if we're following
really
the rule
doesn't make
book,
that
that
much
is
of a
what's
difference
allowed.
because they're trying
I
the
tried to
same
give them
tactic.
some flexibility if the teams want to do
very
something
similar
different
range
since they
loadouts.
didn't agree. Anyway, hopefully it won't be a big deal,
So,
but
I
I
mean, if
do
one team was trying
appreciate
to
everybody's
charge, like
opinion
we had
on it.
that problem last week, where we had like 2 crashes on this map. At the second they were trying to
Outside
charge,
of a
there was
reset,
lot
does
more
anybody else in the
grievances
chat
there.
see any
In this
solutions they might have
situation, this is
tried?
kind of small potatoes comparatively.
Because there were different options other than if a map reset wasn't something that you could easily do, what might have
And
you have
also,
tried?
real talk, when you're running an event like this, you are kind of managing salt levels,
Alright.
especially with a game as horribly prone to errors and crashes as this is.
Get a new rule set. Alright. Frankly, that might be something that we can do for the next 3v3 that we play. So those Anubises don't have coolant. In an extended fight, will that be a disadvantage for them?
Probably only the PPC one, maybe?
There's a lot of water around.
Yeah, most Anubises are designed to run very cool.
I know that the Anubis doesn't get, like Gekum, it's 300 meters instead of the 500 meters detection, but does it have the ability to pick up mechs better with its radar? Does it go both ways?
No. It's still a standard radar.
What about the armor? I know we usually have between 5 and 6.5 tons of armor on the Osiris. What kind of armor do we have on the Anubis?
That's a good question off the top of my head. I think it's similar. Maybe 5 tons? 5.5, somewhere around there. And it's stealth armor, so that's going to have standard hit points per ton.
When does time become a factor on this one? Is 5 minutes still you're kind of screw it, let's turn radars on and head for center? Or in this one do you need a bit more time because of the way the damage works in the distance?
Oh, in this situation, they would probably both just nope out and let it be a draw.
I'd say so. Probably the best thing to happen. Let them move on to the bigger mechs. They all get a bit more comfortable choices, what they want to use. And then they can
Because guess
have
what?
that.
Just under 5 minutes remain. And
SA
Frank?
would definitely be the aggressor if they want to. Since they're up 1, they can risk it.
Mm-hmm. And what would an organized event be without some controversy, frankly? And if that's the worst thing that we do all day, we've done a good job. But I'm curious, will the salt levels increase on both teams because something happened outside of their control and possibly impacting this event?
That's always dependent on what actually happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting because, frankly, we have probably 8 different camera angles going, maybe not, maybe 12. So we'll definitely get to the bottom of this after the fact, but it is up to SJ to make it an interesting conversation because, frankly, if SA wins here anyway, I believe it to be a moot point, but we'll see because this is still anybody's match. The problem is, if we go to a tie, oh boy, will the floodgates open.
If it does result in a tie, full elm throughout the entire on the 5th map, because if this ties out, and if SGA win the next one, I would strongly suggest doing a 1v1 trial for each players of each team, and the best 2 out of 3 win. So 2 of SGA win against
That's a
3
1v1v1v1v1.
Yep.
Well,
Historically,
folks,
if you get a draw and you have a...
we're always going to have something
like
happen in one of these events that is not going to make everybody
Yeah,
happy.
but that's boring, and this is the finisher.
Frankly, it's my job to follow the rules
Interesting.
and go from there. The thing that I apologize for, frankly, is not being able to come to a decision
Well,
early
they
enough
and
so
it
that
seems
you,
that
the
they came out
viewers,
equal.
can concentrate
Even
on the
on a
matches and
5
not have to worry
list.
about a 20-page rule book. So, let's start talking tie, because while we had a light Gauss, SA fire a light Gauss, I'm not sure it connected, and I'm not sure SA is going to be, or SJ is going to be in a hurry here. Since Chaos March rules prevail, and I warned everybody about what would happen with the tie, it comes down to carrying assets, since we don't have BA. And if we force a tie, then we play on the next maps, and if we need a map 6 to decide it, then I pick a map, I pick a tonnage, and we move on, and that's basically what'll happen.
Those are shots going out.
Yes, they're sensing that a tie would be crazy, and they're deciding to finish this out here and now.
No hits, though.
Prox looks like he's twatted Scrub God pretty good.
How good are these? How good are the Anubis B and C at close range?
They're both pretty good. The LBX 8 is actually pretty powerful.
If this does end up being a tie, what we're going to end up doing is I will indicate to both teams that it has ended in a tie, and if they wish to run at each other and shoot for fun purposes, they can. But ultimately, something has to die in the next minute 20.
Entirely possible. Carb showing himself. SA are in a bad position. They've got Overwatch from the middle of
How much time was left?
6-0-0 was the end time.
Real talk, I don't think there's enough damage on the field to kill one of them in 1 minute.
I don't know, the Anubis, if they got a lucky shot in and just
You would literally have to stand there and let them CT him over.
Marius, once we get done, and Victus, once we get done, if you have the ability to watch my live stream, I'm going to have both of you double check that I counted the time correctly. Basically,
I'm fairly sure you did, to be honest.
Basically, I believe that we started at
18 plus 3.
Well, basically
21 minutes per game, right?
15 minutes per game.
And that works out 6.
We had somewhere around a 2 to 3 minute hold. By the time we got that resoluted, we upgraded it to 18 because they self-started. And I don't know,
that's
but
100% 6.
when we get done with this, if we have a champion, I did my job, and I am going to go have a beer.
Yeah, just draw it and go to the next one and wipe the slate. It's not that
Yeah.
big a deal.
I can see nobody unhappy with the turn of events here. Nobody won, nobody lost. The situation is shit, but nobody won, nobody lost. And they can move on to the bigger play things, and everyone can see a big fight. Let's see it happen. Some of their aspects. That's the
They're
problem.
gonna let
with
the Mark
SG.
II poke.
How's the armor between the two teams? Any advantage for one team?
Ooh, Prox is running off already. If SA just push straight in, they will be under less fire.
That's a dual Gauss shot into that Mad Cat, followed by large lasers.
No. SA have stalled on their push. They're not pushing.
That Mad Cat is taking a lot of damage, Invictus.
Prox is in a decent position to cover as they push. Look, he's firing.
They cannot let that
Oof, there we go.
laser blast get in range. They need to run.
What's SA's most dangerous asset here?
Carb.
Yeah,
What?
if he gets in range, Carb will do the most damage.
His weakness, it's only Carbonell's only weakness.
Oh, that's
He's range limited compared to everyone else.
Yep. The others are running already. This is an exact replica of what we've seen on this map before.
I think the MK2 and the Mad Cat have taken equal amounts of damage, roughly, so I think we've traded well between the two teams so far. All about
No,
positioning now.
SJ have definitely done more. SJ are about to come around that hill, and if SJ aren't looking, they might get hit, they might get punished. But SA, if they slow down, they're in trouble.
A rare time, SJ might have a range advantage, question mark?
Oh, here we go.
Kidsin is gonna
Oh,
die.
he's in range. Here we go. Not a bad position for SA, but let's see if they've done enough damage from SJ.
SA
Bring
is
him down.
going for the kill. That's all they have in their mind now. They want to end this and end it now.
I want to kill Rook. Rook's their primer. Grub's tanking. That's good.
Rook goes
SJ,
down.
Good fire discipline.
This is really going to fall on Proxima to do some miraculous things.
Grub is doing some beautiful tanking right now. From Prox and Kidson as they take apart Rook.
Kidsin has to kill Scrub because Rook is probably going to go down. If that doesn't happen, this is going to be SA's match.
Oh, friendly fire from fire. Oof. You need to get back behind that wall, my friend.
That MK2 of Evan is just eating them alive right now.
Oh, Carb goes down. I think that's it.
Well, let's see what the Bloodass can do in Kidsin's hands, because this is going to be on him to win or lose the match for them.
That's it.
Invictus, what would you focus on right now if you were SJ?
Oh, Evan being the only one left.
Maurice, do you concur?
I don't know. I think the arms are good.
Okay.
They are used to being the mean
We have
kings.
Ogd at 30. My generals, unless we have a hold, the match will end no later than 15, and I thank you for your assistance here.
Well, let's start off with saying SJ have Thor Bravo, Mark II Golf, and Scat F. They all have Hag today.
Invictus, what's SA going to counter that with?
Their classic Direwolf supported by Ryokans. The Direwolf does have a Hag 40, but they're
Invictus,
getting
for our viewers at home, what is the Hag and how's it best used?
The Hag's like a weird cross between a Gauss rifle and a rack. It shoots a bunch of bullets really fast, but it has ridiculous range and good damage.
Marius, if the team you're covering has to come to a close-range battle, do they have the armament to win?
Don't think so. It's entirely possible. It depends how much they whittle them down on the way in. They have a lot of range. If they can leverage a full firing line against 1 or 2 targets and whittle them down, they could survive a brawl, but I'm unfamiliar with Mark II Golf.
Invictus, the team that you're covering, at what point do they have to call the oh shit thing and charge toward the enemy because they need enough time to kill? 5 minutes? 6?
You can wait kind of the last second, because there's some really high damage out here.
I have a prediction for both of you that this is going to come down to the clock running out and one team killing one mech and running away.
This is going to come down to how much unanswered damage SJ can get down, because SJ outranges SA in 2 of their mechs.
Can you repeat that again? That SJ on a map outranges SA? How's that possible, Invictus? Invictus, I'm afraid that the sky is about to fall.
Well, there's a meteor. I find it very unusual. But one of the things, as we had on the last map, that is a cozy hill for SJ to sit up on. And, well, oh, they've moved off. Holy hell. Never mind, this fight just might get interesting.
They have to shoot them before they get to 900.
Invictus,
I'm moving towards the mid.
what mech should your team focus on? What do they need to shoot at the enemy?
What's my team?
You represent SA right now.
Marius, same question. Marius, what SJ mech does SA need to focus on?
What, SJ map? Probably... You could probably rip up kids in pretty good. The 4 is... mobile, though. The Mark II...
If you're accurate, you can just delete the scan.
Yeah, but it's Proxima. He knows how to survive.
Invictus, as our SA consultant, how dangerous is the slow speed of that assault mech in this match?
Not dangerous. I mean, Evan knows how to drive that thing.
Is the hag on the shoulder?
Yes.
If there was ever a veteran player to put in that asset, it's him.
Marius,
And,
how much jump...
SJ will be tentative to try and move up and get some shots off.
Marius, how much
But-
jump jetting are we going to see?
A lot. They all have jump jets on SJ. They're going to use that to poke as hard as they can, but that's a Hag 40 on Evan. The big thing it might come down to is if SJ poke one at a time, Evan will return fire a lot more effectively.
Invictus, the difference between a Hag 20 and a Hag 40.
So 2 Hag 20s are heavier than 1 Hag 40, but they're going to be firing twice as fast effectively. So if it's a shortened window, the Mark II will win out.
I think we do need to point out here that Carb did just take some hot shots from the side of the hill. They aren't sitting pretty behind Evan. They are doing some work themselves.
Well, Invictus keeps trying to tell us that the Ryokins are dangerous as hell by themselves, so that's going to be a pretty tough list to take down.
I would watch Kidson. If Kidson can get the most out of that Thor, I think SJ has this.
Invictus, is this bringing back memories of old ancient tournaments and you and the old KOS boys showing people what was what?
The game has changed so much since then.
Give us an example.
This is all your fault.
Just a random example.
I mean, there was no Hag back then. There were no Rivals back then.
The good old days.
There was no Thor back then.
Kid's in, getting beat up, but he gets a few shots off. Marius, how well do you think that trade went for each team?
I think they managed to put down about Hag 30 onto Evan. Again, Evan's putting out Hag 40, but he is 1 person of armor.
SJ's pretty split up right now. Is that dangerous or the correct move?
That is dangerous. SA needs to push in and start doing some work. Evan can only tank for so long against all this Hag. They need to be the hounds that tie up the long-range Hag assets while Evan catches up and then puts them down.
6 minutes remain in this, the championship round of the 2019 Spring 3v3 event between Starradder Stone...
15-minute game.
Yes, Starradder Stone Mask.
That long.
It's
15 minutes is not a long
6.
time.
It's been 6 minutes. It started at 30.
Yes, and Kidson almost lost his back. And and Rook took some damage.
That could be a good thing, though, if he's spreading it to his back.
I don't know. These guys need to rely on their maneuverability.
Rook is about to die. He got out, but the damage, I don't know if he did enough. How fast is the burst on an MK2 Prime? Golf.
Faster than the Daisha.
Those Ryos need to take cover. They're being dangerous right now. They
I'm
need
not
to take
sure
cover
what
or wait
Kidzin's
forever.
doing.
He's got a better position. Caught for it.
Proxima needs to be careful. That is a Hag 30, but that's a Shadow Cat, not a Love Armor there,
Missed.
Invictus.
There goes the dogs. The dogs are on Kidzen.
Kidzin's dead, and this match
He's
is...
lost his heart largely there.
You know, Prox is coming in to help, but he's got Evan watching their back, right into it. He's trapped, caught the terrain.
SA smells blood. Do they move in?
Oh, they're just gonna trade until they're sure.
It's a smart thing.
Rook trying to share armor, Proxima trying to share armor, but right
Just
now
gonna
that
put him in the line of fire.
Thor can't escape. SJ needs a kill, and they need it in the worst way. Otherwise, this is going to end very quickly.
I think it's already over. SA have done so much damage. If they time that push, they've got a good chance going. They don't.
You might be surprised.
They need to
He
focus.
just has to get a little bit more out of the Thor.
They need
Here
to
we
focus Scrub God as hard as possible.
Evan's here. It's time to put someone down.
Can SJ kill somebody because they're about to lose somebody themselves?
Time to sacrifice yourself.
He's got the most armor. It's a smart thing. He's exposing his position. No.
I don't think SJ has done enough damage.
Carb's running back.
Prox needs the kill now if they're going to have a chance.
Not rotating back yet.
Rook about to go down.
Ryokan zombie.
Finish gets in. He's trapped in a corner. He is. Oh, what?
Oh, he's.
Oh.
That Ryokan is fresh, and that's going to be the difference.
That Ryokan cannot be fresh. Oh, Rook just whipped those lasers.
Hell of a fight, but what did it come down to? As always, positioning. Let's see if SJ can at least make it interesting.
Oh, the back's out on Rook and Prox. They are dead.
Well,
Oh,
we'll get the analysis here in a moment, but I, the Mech Master, am here to certify that in 6 long and grueling matches, that after it all, for the second tournament in a row, S-Star Adder Stone Mask defeats Clan Smoke Jaguar Beta Galaxy for bragging rights in the Living Legends community, at least until the next 3v3, and they are the champions by a score of 3-2. And now we'll have lots of analysis here in the post game, but